Welcome to Faith and Freedom. For the next few minutes, we hope to inform, inspire, and encourage you as we discuss the legal victories and challenges to your fundamental freedoms and religious liberties. Faith and Freedom comes to you from Liberty Counsel, a civil liberties education and legal defense organization. Join us now as Matt Staver, the President and General Counsel of Liberty Counsel, explains the latest legal issues all across this country in the courtrooms of America. Liberty Counsel is winning the battle for your constitutional freedoms.
A radical Obama judicial nominee, Godwin Liu, finally gets defeated and then ends up having to withdraw his name from the nomination process. I'm Matt Staver, founder and chairman of Liberty Counsel and dean of Liberty University School of Law. Joining me is Shawn Akers, the dean of the Helms School of Government at Liberty University. Godwin Liu was a radical nominee by President Obama, as many of his nominees are, to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, and he ultimately did not make it through the Senate. The vote was not enough to get him past the filibuster, and consequently, he was forced to withdraw his name from the process. Liberty Counsel and Liberty Counsel Action were involved in this particular situation, and we had literally thousands of people that had given their voice to the members of the Senate with regards to their opinion as to whether Godwin Liu is someone who's qualified for the bench. The good news is that he is no longer a candidate, and he's not going to be serving on the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals.
Yeah, Liberty Counsel Action sent a letter that helped inform these senators, Matt, and that's a very impressive thing because, as we've all seen, most of these crazy judicial nominations have just kind of flown through. This is a great sign that at least we're in a place where some common sense has been applied. This guy was a radical. He was not somebody that was going to rule under the rule of law. He was going to rule according to some very evident political ideologies. That's a good victory.
Well, you know, one of the things that we did through our Liberty Counsel Action, which is our 501c4 issue advocacy organization, is we sent a letter to the United States senators opposing Godwin Liu's confirmation on behalf of all of our members nationwide, which we have hundreds of thousands of members, individuals that follow Liberty Counsel Action, support Liberty Counsel Action and Liberty Counsel nationwide. And we also said to the senators that we will be scoring the vote. Now, for those of you who may not be familiar with what that means that we actually are monitoring that particular vote, and we are logging where every individual senator, in this case the Senate, votes on this particular issue. At the end of the year, we will have a congressional scorecard for the 112th Congress, and we now will be doing that on a regular basis. So we are scoring votes on specific issues throughout the year, and we will have that in a chart for all of the different senators and all the different members of the House so that you can have a good understanding as to where these individuals voted. Now, what does that mean to an individual senator or member of House? We've actually had individuals tell us, they've actually said in this, not in this particular one, but on an earlier one where we were monitoring a vote, and one individual member of the House said to one of our representatives, you don't score votes, do you? And we didn't score votes until 2011, which is the year now we are with our 501c4. And the representative said, yes, we are scoring votes. And they, oh, okay. If their votes are not scored, then they can give you a runaround and a song and a dance, knowing that they're not going to get that. People are not going to know at the end of the year when it comes time to election how they voted because they vote on so many things. So when we send a letter saying we are scoring votes, they know that that will become a public record and everybody will be able to scrutinize how each one of these individuals voted. We will, and we did score this vote. And you'll be able to, when you get ready to vote for a new senator in your state or a new member of House in your state, you'll be able to find out exactly where they voted on certain specific issues that are of concern to you.
You know, Matt, I'm fascinated with political leadership and how much it's changed. You and I sit right now. Liberty Counsel's offices in Lynchburg are only a few miles from Patrick Henry's home, a time when when statesmen would stand up and say things like, give me liberty or to give me death. They didn't really care what the opinion poll was going to be. They were going to stand for the right thing. Now, we have to judge politicians by what they vote, what they do, not what they say. Nobody's keeping account of it. Then they get to play both sides of the fence, vote one way and say something else. When Liberty Counsel has stepped up here, when the Liberty Counsel Action has stepped up here and said, you know what, we're going to record this and just let everybody know how you voted on it, all of a sudden, you've got some responsibility. You've educated the voters on exactly how these guys voted, and their whole lifeblood is now to have done something that they have to defend, one way or the other, to the American people. That is a valuable service.
That's right. In this particular situation with Godwin Liu, he had been waiting in the wings for a long time. The President Obama had nominated him for the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. First of all, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals is the most liberal circuit in the country. It is the most judicial activist-oriented circuit court of appeals in the country. It is the most reversed circuit court of appeals in the country when it comes to the United States Supreme Court. And President Obama wanted to continue to make it slide off to the far radical left with this nomination of Godwin Liu. Godwin Liu is an open advocate of homosexual marriage, same-sex marriage. He's an open liberal on all these different areas of judicial activism. He would have no problem just simply using the Constitution as a springboard and going far afield from it. He would be somebody who would literally continue this leftward radical drift of the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. So a lot of people were very concerned with him. He has expressed open hostility towards the Chief Justice, John Roberts of the Supreme Court, also Justice Samuel Alito, disagreeing with their judicial philosophy, which basically is just be an umpire and call the shots as they are. Don't add or take away from the text. And so the good news is he's not going to be a nomination. He's not going to be on this court. He had no trial attorney experience. He had only practiced law for 2 years. He had no judicial experience. He was just a radical ideologue, and Obama picked him, which in and of itself is an interesting conversation about how Obama picks these radical ideologues. And sometimes conservatives, when they get into power, they become a little squishy, and they want to pick somebody who's not necessarily a conservative, but somebody who's more middle of the road, and oftentimes it doesn't pan out well.
You know, that's an amazing thing, because worldview comes into play on both sides of that, Matt. On the conservative side, just being conservative says that you're going to have to judge by the rule of law, that you're not there to be an activist. So you're there to be a conservative, to do what the law says. And the liberal side of this has a completely different worldview. It says that, the law is what we say it is. We're going to make it into whatever we want it to be. What we're seeing with this administration, this is why it's so important for the listeners. Call your senators and either pat them on the back for having voted properly against this nomination, or remind them that they should have, and that you'll remember it, because there's going to be many other of these activist nominations in the wings. We've seen them go through without much opposition over the past few years, and we're paying a price for it.
Well, Liberty Counsel has an office in Washington, D.C., and Liberty Counsel Action, or 501c4 as well as the Liberty Center for Law and Policy, which is a joint partnership between Liberty Counsel and Liberty University School of Law. We do several things. We obviously look at policy-related matters from Washington, D.C., monitor legislation, and we also work to open up opportunities for Liberty University's School of Law students to work in Washington, D.C. in this political process. We have a summer, for example, and also throughout the year, internship or externship program where people can actually work real-time with these members of Congress and get real-time experience. And a number of our Liberty undergraduate from your School of Government, from Liberty University School of Law, are already working as career individuals in Washington, D.C., in the nation's capital, to bring good principles to the United States founding principles in Washington, D.C.
It's real concrete proof, Matt, that when you support Liberty Counsel, you support Liberty University, the Liberty University School of Law and the Helm School of Government. These students are becoming leaders. They don't just go and be students. They literally get hired on, and they are working there to bring positive change. It's happening.
It really is happening. In this particular case, unfortunately, some senators elevated party affiliation over activism. Even Senator Mitch McConnell in Kentucky didn't vote for. I think he just voted present. He didn't vote against, didn't vote for, just voted present. To me, that's a squeamish position. You can't just vote present, take a position on it. So even some Republicans, they need to get a backbone and figure out what side of the issue of judicial nominations they're on. Give us a call at Liberty Counsel, 1-800-671-1776. You can go to our website at lc.org. Ask for the book Take Back America. It's a new, updated version of Take Back America from our publishing arm called New Revolution Publishers, and also another one from our New Revolution Publishers arm, Patriot's Handbook on American Liberty. It's got the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence. For a contribution, you can get those books and read them, find out about our founding principles. Go to Liberty Counsel's website today.
You have been listening to Matt Staver of Liberty Counsel. Our hope is to encourage and inspire you to stand up for your faith, family, and freedoms. We can accomplish a lot when we work together. Get informed and get involved today. Sign up for our free monthly newsletter, The Liberator. We will send it out to you free of charge. Stay informed with our Liberty Alert email update. Just click on the website at www.lc.org or call us at 1-800-671-1776. Tune in next time to learn more about your rights right here on Faith and Freedom.